Jake, Matt, and Lisa were three adventurous friends with a passion for paranormal investigations. They had been exploring abandoned and supposedly haunted locations for their YouTube channel. One night, they decided to investigate an old prison that had long intrigued them. This prison was known locally as the Dark Souls Prison. It was rumored to be haunted by the restless spirits of those who had suffered and died within its walls. Jake, Matt, and Lisa met early in the morning to prepare their equipment: night vision cameras, audio recorders, flashlights, and protective clothing. They wanted to be ready for anything they might encounter. Jake was the team leader and cameraman, driven by an insatiable curiosity for paranormal phenomena. Matt was the tech expert responsible for audio recordings and the operation of electronic devices. Lisa, the researcher, gathered detailed information about each location they visited and kept the team informed. As they drove towards the prison, Lisa shared more about its dark history. "This prison housed some of the most dangerous criminals," she said. "Many of them were tortured and died here. Locals claim to hear strange noises and see shadows here at night. Some believe the place is home to vengeful spirits." Jake and Matt debated the credibility of these stories. Jake said, "Maybe there's something to these stories. We'll only find out by experiencing it ourselves." Matt added, "If these tales are true, we're in for an unforgettable night." Lisa continued, "The prison was built in the early 1900s. Initially intended to reduce crime rates, it quickly became a place of unimaginable suffering. Prisoners were tortured, starved, and subjected to the worst conditions. Many lost their sanity, and some died here. People believe that this place is filled with malevolent spirits." Jake replied, "These stories are truly chilling. Let's see what we can uncover tonight." Matt said, "If these stories are real, we're in for a night we won't forget." In the dead of night, Jake, Matt, and Lisa arrived at the abandoned prison. It was located on the outskirts of town, deep in the forest, a place isolated and shrouded in darkness. As they entered, they recorded their surroundings with their cameras and tried to reassure each other. Inside, they were greeted by the stench of decaying wood and damp air. A cold breeze blew through the corridors, and eerie echoes from the empty cells created a frightening atmosphere. The prison walls were still marked with bloodstains and inscriptions made by inmates. The writings included phrases like, "Save me," "No way out," and "We are prisoners forever." Jake filmed these inscriptions, commenting, "This is really disturbing." Lisa added, "These writings could be proof of what happened here." Matt was recording a different cell with his phone when suddenly a shadowy figure appeared on the screen. The figure moved quickly from cell to cell before disappearing. Matt nearly dropped his phone in shock. "Did you see that?" he shouted. Jake and Lisa rushed over to Matt. When they saw the footage, they were both horrified. "This is incredible," Jake said. "There's definitely something here." Lisa was drawn to a large cell at the end of the corridor. When she opened the cell door, she found an old bed and a broken chair. In the center of the cell was a journal. As Lisa began to read it, she discovered it belonged to a prisoner who had suffered extreme torture and vowed revenge. The last page contained a chilling message: "My spirit will remain here to seek vengeance." Just then, the cell door slammed shut, trapping Lisa inside. Jake and Matt, hearing Lisa's screams, rushed to the cell. They tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. Desperately, they pushed against the door with all their strength, while Lisa's cries for help echoed from inside. Suddenly, Jake's camera displayed another anomaly. The screen flickered with static before going completely black. Jake tried to restart the camera, but it remained unresponsive. As Jake ventured deeper into the corridor with the night vision camera, he noticed an unusual movement on the screen. A shadowy figure darted across the screen in the dark corner of the corridor. Jake kept his eyes fixed on the screen as he attempted to follow the shadow. The figure entered a cell and disappeared. Jake quickly alerted Matt and Lisa. Meanwhile, Matt noticed an anomaly on his audio recorder. The screen showed strange fluctuations, and the recording was filled with unintelligible whispers and moans. Despite the recorder's fresh batteries, they seemed to drain rapidly. Matt, puzzled, tried to reset the device, but it refused to power on again. Lisa, meanwhile, noticed something moving in a cell at the end of the corridor. As she approached, a cold draft hit her face, similar to a refrigerator door being opened. In the corner of the cell, the shadow of an old prisoner appeared. As Lisa made eye contact with the shadow, she felt an overwhelming sense of pain and anger in its eyes. The shadow vanished suddenly, and the cell door slammed shut with a deafening bang. Seeing Lisa trapped, Jake and Matt rushed to the door. Jake shoulder-barged the door, while Matt pried at the lock with a metal bar. From the other side of the door, Lisa's screams grew more desperate. Suddenly, Jake's camera captured another unsettling scene. The screen was filled with static before showing a clear figure of a shadow approaching them. Jake, in terror, dropped the camera, but the figure vanished instantly, leaving the prison in eerie silence once more. As Jake, Matt, and Lisa struggled to escape the prison, the noises grew louder and the shadows more ominous. Each step felt like they were being watched and followed. Jake picked up the camera again, filming as they moved. On the screen, the shadows continued to shift, and one figure seemed to move rapidly towards them. Jake, horrified, tried to maintain his composure but was visibly shaken. Matt shouted, "We need to get out of here. This place is cursed." Lisa, in panic, urged, "We need to reach the exit now." They ran towards the main exit of the prison. When they reached it, they discovered that the door was locked. Jake, desperately trying to force the door open, felt a presence behind him. When he turned around, he saw the shadowy figure standing right behind him. The figure's eyes seemed to pierce into Jake's soul, and he found himself unable to breathe. Matt and Lisa rushed to help Jake, but the shadow vanished before they could reach him. Jake, gasping for air, said, "This place is truly cursed. We have to get out now." Matt continued to force the door and eventually managed to unlock it. The three friends burst out into the prison yard, but the haunting continued. Shadows and whispers seemed to follow them as they tried to flee. Jake filmed the scene again, capturing shadows moving and one figure speeding towards them. Jake, Matt, and Lisa decided to leave the prison immediately. As they gathered their equipment, they felt a constant sense of being watched. They rushed to their cars and took a deep breath of relief. However, upon reviewing the footage, they were confronted with the terrifying reality of what they had experienced. Shadows, whispers, and bloodied faces. It was all real. The abandoned prison had become an unforgettable and horrifying chapter in their lives. The dark secrets of the prison would never be forgotten. Back at home, Jake, Matt, and Lisa couldn't shake the fear from their minds. Jake, reviewing the footage, realized the undeniable presence of paranormal activity. "This is solid proof," he said. "We have to share this." Matt asked, "Will people believe us if we release this footage?" Lisa replied, "If we show the truth, people will believe us." This was the most terrifying and real experience we've ever had. After carefully editing the footage, Jake, Matt, and Lisa posted it on their YouTube channel. The video quickly went viral and was watched by millions. As viewers tried to understand the horror they had experienced, Jake, Matt, and Lisa knew they would never forget their encounter at the Dark Souls prison. From then on, they decided to be more cautious in their explorations. While their interest in paranormal phenomena remained, they vowed never to visit such dangerous places again. However, their terrifying experience at the Dark Souls prison would forever haunt their memories,